The Beyond the Fame podcast is fed by Lido Pizza. Lido Pizza never cuts corners. For menu and locations, visit LidoPizza.com. And of course, this podcast would not be possible without our longtime title sponsor, the Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races in West Virginia. Rounding out September, entertainment includes Theory of a Dead Man on September 27th. Details and tickets at HollywoodCasinoCharlestown.com. Must be 21 to enter the casino floor and attend a show. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Welcome to the newest episode of Beyond the Fame with Jason Fraley. I'm your host, Jason Fraley, picking the brains of the top filmmakers, musicians, and artists of our time. Beloved rock band Buckcherry performs live at the Tally Ho Theater in Leesburg, Virginia on October 7th. I spoke with lead singer Josh Todd to preview the show and reflect on the band's biggest hits from Sorry to Crazy Bitch. Hey, Josh Todd, lead singer of Buckcherry. Hey, thank you so much for joining us.
What's up, man? Thank you for having me.
Good. Where are you joining us from?
I'm at home right now for a second. You happen to catch me at home, which never happens. But yeah, man, we've been on the road pretty extensively this year, supporting our 11th record, Roar Like Thunder, and now we're just doing fly dates for most of September, and then we're starting up another tour with Nashville Pussy here at the end of September.
I'm glad that you took that one and you were able to say the opening act, not me. It's better in your words anyway. So.
What's wrong with saying Nashville Pussy?
Right on the episode. That's the difference.
Yeah.
When I would do these for, FM radio, we'd censor that out. But you know what I mean? In podcast land, we can
I
just
understand.
say it. What you can let it rock and roll. It's fine. But we
Okay.
should say the tour that we're talking about with Buckcherry is coming to the Tally Ho Theater in Leesburg, Virginia on October 7th. So everybody get your tickets. Is that a frequent spot for you all? I mean, it's a historic theater there in a historic town of Leesburg, but why do you guys keep coming back?
We just go wherever people are fired up to see a rock show, and we just go wherever people want to show up and have a good time, and so that's always been a good venue for us, and we always have good turnouts there, so that's why we always come back.
Absolutely. This latest album, Like Thunder, it just dropped over the summer.
Yeah.
If our listeners are fans of all your work, but maybe somehow they missed this latest one, which songs off of there are you going to play it like start to finish, or which songs are you going to sprinkle in?
No, we're playing right now, Roar Like Thunder, the title track, this song called Let It Burn. There's a great song called Blackout that we've been playing that has a great response. The songs we did videos for, Set It Free. We do as well, and we just added When the Sun Goes Down. The whole record's so great, it's hard not to play the whole thing, but we have so many songs out there. This is our 11th record, so got to get to all of them.
Absolutely. So you will sprinkle in some of the favorites from maybe not all 11, but most of the ones over the years.
Yeah, all the usual suspects
The
for
usual
sure.
round up the usual suspects. I love it. But of course, folks here coming to the show are in the Virginia area, but you didn't grow up on this coast at all. You grew up in West Coast. You were born in what, LA, but mostly grew up in like Anaheim area. Is that right?
Yeah, I was born in 71.
71 was the French Connection and Dirty Harry and Shaft. It was a good year. I'm a movie guy, but that was a good year. Great. So you were growing up basically around Anaheim, but so what music were you digging when you were growing up before you even knew you were going to be, in a band yourself? What
Yeah,
music did you dig on?
as soon as I heard music for the first time, I was attracted to it, and there was always music in my house. My mother played records and would clean the house every Sunday. She'd put records on and clean the house, and my sister and I would just play and listen to her records. And so her records were like Rod Stewart, the Eagles, Willie Nelson, Kenny Rogers, the Gambler record. I remember that.
Good stuff.
And then my father was really into the Eagles. He got me In the Long Run. That was one memory I have of him, where he bought me a record one time. And
Nice.
and then, when I started becoming adolescent, I had my own flavors. I was really into all the independent punk rock records back in Orange County. I was surfing and skateboarding, and so that was a big part of my youth. And then I would sneak in my sister's room, and she would So you had like Prince and Billy Idol records and The Time
Nice.
and Apollonia 6 and Sheila E. And I loved all that stuff. So I was just a big fan of music. And whenever I heard good songs or a good record, I would get it. I had a huge record collection.
Oh, that's awesome. And then you would become part of all of our record collection. Funny how that works. So, um,
Yeah, and I was just in Los Angeles, that's when it all started. And it was back around, I want to say like 97 or something,
okay.
96. At that point in time, I had been in another band called Slamhound for like 4 years in LA, and we did a lot, but we got on an independent label at one point. At one point, we were being, there was talk that we were going to be on Atlantic, and then that fell through. So it was just a big roller coaster for me, and also, I had a massive drug and alcohol problem at that time. So I got sober, and then about a year went by, and I was just looking for the right situation and writing my own songs, just recording all my own songs on a little 4-track recorder in my apartment, and that's when I met Keith.
Keith Nelson is the guitarist.
Yeah, and then we just started eventually getting the band together, and yeah, and then the rest is a lot of work and history.
Yeah, of course. Well, we can hit on some of the highlights of that a lot of work in history. But you formed Buckcherry. Is that your idea? Is that Keith's idea? Who comes up, or what does it even mean?
Yeah, we were called Sparrow at the time, the whole time until we got signed by DreamWorks, and then we found out because of copyright issues, there was a Sparrow Records, which was a Christian label at the time, and
Mm.
they had the rights. So we had to change our name, and we were totally bummed. And but looking back, it was probably the best thing that happened, and so, we couldn't decide on a name. We kept arguing about it and coming in with lists, and nobody could decide on anything. And at that point, Keith was reading a book on Chuck Berry's life, and we were recording the first record. And he had a quote in there that record labels will try to make you do all kinds of things you don't want to do, like turn your name upside down, like Buckcherry, and
Ah,
we were
Chuck
like, well,
Berry is Buckcherry. You
yeah,
flipped
yeah.
it.
We
I
were like,
gotcha.
so we just went with it.
I love it. That's hilarious. So it's Chuck Berry flipped. I love it. See, that wouldn't have worked if you picked Chubby Checker. It would just still be Chubby Checker. You'd see alliteration. I'm glad you went with one that wasn't alliterative. All right, great. So you formed Buckcherry. The first album, 99. It has that Grammy nominated hit, Lit Up.
Yeah.
Folks remember that one? Put you all on the map. You're Grammy nominated with Metallica, Alice in Chains, Kid Rock, Korn, Limp Bizkit, like not bad company. There's no winners and losers, but I will say Metallica Whiskey in the Jar walks away with the prize that day. What was that first Grammy experience like?
Yeah, I mean, it was cool, but at the end of the day, I want to win, and so, but I mean, the whole vibe of it all, it was really cool, to dress up and see a lot of celebrities and the shows and everything. It was cool for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Then I guess you do Time Bomb 2001, but then the band breaks up right after, right? So,
Yeah.
remind us why it sort of fell apart in what early 2000s, and then the idea to jump started with new group.
It didn't like we didn't like make a decision. Okay, we're breaking up now.
Right.
The Time Bomb tour was really hard on all of us. We had kind of a falling out to a record label, and it was just a lot of things. And what one band member left, and then another one left, and then it was just Keith and I kind of holding down the fort. And we hadn't lost our record deal or anything, and we did a lot of stuff while we were home during that time, and just nothing was like panning out. And so we just decided to go our separate ways at that point, and that's it. And we had unfinished business, and eventually, when the time was right, we got back together and got three new guys that were really in it to win it. And we had an incredible comeback story. Then we got Grammy nominated again, and we had really the song of the year with Crazy Bitch at that
Yeah.
time. And I think we lost Wolf Mother or something. It was like, wow, I didn't understand that. So that was pretty lame.
Yeah. Wolf Mother's Woman is what beat Crazy Bitch. But come on,
Yeah.
Crazy Bitch was a much bigger song. But
Yeah, it had a lot longer legs, but I mean,
yeah.
it is what it is. Not that that song isn't great that they put
Yeah.
out, either. It
Yeah.
was a
Yeah.
good song. It was a good song, but
Yeah.
I feel like we should have won for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess I said not bad company the first time. That one also was Nine Inch Nails and System of a Down and Tool. So man, yeah,
Yeah.
your Buckcherry is in there, forever in the history books with some big acts.
Yep.
Well, Crazy Bitch, that's on the Smash album 15 that comes out in 2006. That's the first album with the new group. Was that you and Keith co-wrote that one, right? That
No, we
album
all
together?
there. Everybody dabbled in the songwriting. Jimmy co-wrote some songs, and Stevie and Keith, of course, and I wrote all the lyrics and melodies. And
Yeah.
yeah, it was. we never thought what was going to happen. I mean, we believed in ourselves, but we didn't know what was coming, and so it was really cool.
Well, how about Crazy Bitch specifically? Like who inspired or what inspired that song? How does that
Yeah,
come
yeah,
to be?
that I've told this story many times, but that song was like 3 years old before it got on a record
Mm.
because it had just been kind of sitting around. Keith and I wrote that before we parted our ways after the Time Bomb tour. So I was just driving around in my little Toyota truck in LA, and this is before cell phones and everything. And Paris Hilton and Kim Kardashian had just dropped sex tapes, and that's when that first started, and I just kind of started reminiscing about my youth and my adolescence, and I couldn't really attract a sane girl, but there was a lot of girls that were good in bed but not good girlfriends, and then but it was really Paris Hilton and Kim Kardashian that kind of sparked that thought, and then I just started singing this chorus, and it was a crazy bitch chorus, and I'm very close to my mom. My mom's supported me through all my musical endeavors, and so I called my mom because I didn't want to forget it to record it on her voicemail.
Ah,
And so I just sang it down. I said, "Don't erase this. I want to remember it." And because I didn't have anything to record at the time,
yeah,
and then I brought it to Keith and I said, "Hey, I want this thing to have a lot of space. Like a hip hop song. I want it to
right.
sound like a rock song, but I want it to be groovy and have a lot of space for me to just paint the canvas with words and melodies." And and he did exactly what I asked and finished the song, and that was it. And we just thought it would be like a great Buckcherry core fan base song live, and because of the lyrical content, and we didn't ever think it was going to be a hit, like it became, So, but that's always what happens. You never know. You never know.
Oh, that thing played like wildfire. Well, I have to know one follow up on that. What did your mom say when she listened to that voicemail?
She just goes. She didn't say. She knows me. She does.
Yeah.
She doesn't. She was fine. She just saved it, and then I got it, and that was it.
She
I
wasn't
had.
like,
I've
"Oh, this is destined for greatness right here." Or was
no,
it like, "Why are you
no,
calling me that, son? Couldn't you have
no,
wrote a song
no.
called Nice Mom or something?"
Yeah.
No, the other one, it's catchier the way it was.
No, she thinks I'm a lunatic, and
Yeah.
whatever. That it was something was gonna work out eventually.
That's awesome. I love that story though. Thank you. All right. Well, Sorry was one more on that album. Says Sorry was just as big. It might even gone at least Billboard top 100 wise. It might even gone higher. I think it cracked the
Yeah,
top
it
10.
was actually bigger than Crazy Bitch at the
Yeah.
time. As far as what it achieved. And yeah, that was a really good moment, and
Yeah.
I wrote that song on my own at the house, three chords on a guitar,
Yeah.
and the nucleus of it, and it was just a song. My youngest daughter, Willow, I was trying to teach her how to sing, and I just wanted something that was kind of like real easy to sing and G-rated the lyrics, and and this business is very challenging on relationships, because you're away from home a lot, and so that's kind of what it's about. And I had it for a while, and we were writing all these songs for 15, but it wasn't the right time to spring it on the band. You don't want to like bring up a ballad right when you start writing a big rock record,
Yeah.
so waited till we were kind of exhausted to where it was the right time, and I was like, "Hey, I got this song.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool, and I can't stop singing it. It's very catchy." And I played it, and then we kind of worked it out a little bit, took it to another level as a band, and it just wasn't quite popping. And then that's right when we met Marty Fredrickson, and he's just a really talented guy. We played it for him, and he just tweaked a couple things, and boom, it sounded like a hit. It was like, wow.
Yeah.
And that was it. That's how the song eventually came about to be on a record.
I love it. And yeah, and it's funny because, when I mentioned the name Buckcherry, my wife, everyone else, friends, the first thing they say is, "Oh yeah, they did that song Crazy Bitch," and then you say, "Yeah, and also Sorry." And for some reason it's like, "What which one?" But then I promise you folks, you know it. "I'm sorry, I'm bad. I'm sorry."
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
sing and you sing
Yeah.
that and then they go, "Oh, damn, that was I remember that one." Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Then they start hearing it in grocery stores. I've had a lot of those phone calls, Dude, I'm in Ralph's. fucking they're playing Sorry,
Yeah.
listen,
Clean up
and
on aisle 6 to your song.
yeah, but I mean our first hit, bona fide hit was Lit Up, and that was
Yeah.
like such a big moment for us.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you've been fortunate to have several over your career, and you never know which ones are gonna pop. You're just putting out great music, consistently. You're just doing your thing.
Thank you.
But
Yeah.
you never know. And then a couple of those just lightning a bottle. They take off all the way to the grocery store or the Grammys, one of the other. Well, great, great. All right. Well, then I guess I should say. So, was it any pressure following up for Black Butterfly after that, the next album? Because you're coming off of multi platinum hit.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely a lot of pressure.
Yeah,
And we just made the best record we could make at the time. And I
yeah.
love Black Butterfly. And we made that with Marty, and he's so talented, and I really enjoyed that. That's a great record.
Yeah. I mean, I think at least like on the albums charts, that was like top 10. All Night Long was also top 10. So I mean the people were still picking up what you were putting down. All Night
Absolutely.
Long. Which ones from Black Butterfly or All Night Long might we hear at the Tally-O?
Oh, I don't know. The one that we only play from Black Butterfly, it seems like, is Rescue Me, and All Night Long we play It's a Party
Mhm.
sometimes, and we don't really play All Night Long that much because we have a lot of four on the floor songs now,
Yeah.
like Lit Up and Riding and
Yeah.
Hellbound, and so you want to kind of mix it up. But yeah.
Absolutely. I was just as we're going through your discography, I know the next album was called Confessions, and it reminded me of like Seven because you have all the different
Mhm.
seven deadly sins on that album. Was that
Yeah.
like an idea of like I don't know if concept album's the right phrase, but you know what I mean? Where do you come up with the we're gonna do like a thematic through line on
Yeah, I mean, it's the closest thing to a concept record we made. We just wanted to make all the sins into songs, and that was really challenging and fun for me as
it?
a lyric writer. And yeah, it was some songs took a little bit longer to get over the finish line, like
Mhm.
Gluttony. That was our third chorus that we had come up with,
Yeah.
and it just popped. And I'm so glad because that's like the featured song on the record, and it was such a great video. And yeah, I didn't know, I don't have an organized religion background, so I didn't know a whole lot about the sins. So I had to really kind of dig into that, and I learned a lot.
You read up on them. You didn't, try them, hopefully.
No, no. Well, I mean, I qualify for all of them for
All
sure.
right, gotcha. At least in your past, maybe. You've been sober since
Hmm.
95, right? So, is that right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
almost
appreciate
31 years. It was
either.
94.
Oh,
Yeah,
94. Cool. So,
yeah,
yeah, over 20 years. Wow. Yeah. Well,
yeah.
let's detour that because I like to go beyond the fame on this one a little bit into I always like to sort of ask about either something philanthropic or a charity or a personal story. And that might be a good one. What inspired you to get sober and any advice for folks that are listening to this that maybe you're going through something similar, then they can look at the lead singer Buckcherry and be like, hey, if he can do it, I can do it.
I have a history of alcoholism in my family, and I definitely have the disease since I was very young. And I started getting loaded at a very young age. So um, my drinking and using career was 13 to 23, and I'd had enough. I had really, it just wasn't working for me anymore, and I was in really bad shape. And you know, uh, a divine intervention happened to me between me and my higher power because I got arrested. I got arrested on a DUI in Orange County, and I blew a .21 blood alcohol, and thank God I didn't hurt anybody. And went to jail that night, spent the night in jail just to really think about what my next move was because here I was broke with a massive drug and alcohol problem,
Yeah.
and I wanted to something to happen. I didn't know what, and I just needed help, and I kind of asked for help. That was it, just from whatever is up there,
Yeah.
whatever's in the universe, and I got the help I needed. I got court ordered 30 more AA meetings on the top of the ones I had to do for my DUI program because I blew such a high blood alcohol. So, yeah, you wouldn't recognize me. I was saturated. I was really bad off. I was very skinny. I
Yeah.
had alcohol poisoning. I was doing a lot of drugs too at the time. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it was just bad. So, anyways, long story short, one day I went to a meeting, and I was just clear enough to like hear this guy speak, and he was just like a 9 to 5 dude, but he talked about how he drank like I drank, and I just really related to everything he was saying, and I was just like, wow, this is so weird, you know. And the place was packed, and I just got the courage to raise my hand as a newcomer, and I just took the ride and
Wow.
took a chance and went for it, and it's the best thing I ever did for myself.
Wow. Well, there you go, folks. If you're struggling with something similar, do the same thing. Make it the best thing that you'll ever do for yourself. So what is your go-to if you're out and people are actually drinking, booze around you? What's your go-to? Is it like a Coke? Is it a iced tea? Arnold Palmer? What is it?
Yeah, I order a water, a Red Bull. I mean, I don't a Coke, it doesn't matter, you know. I don't even think about it anymore, you know, but
That's good.
yeah, I've been sober so long, the obsession for me has been removed, you know. It's just my disease is manifested in other areas of my life, you know, and so I have to constantly work and go back to I'm still very active in AA. I sponsor guys.
Wow.
I have sponsors, and yep, I just continue to work on myself. Still a work in progress.
Everybody is in one way or another, but that's awesome that you're taking steps. That's all you can do every day, one foot in
For
front of the.
sure.
Did I sense a little bit of spirituality in there? You said you weren't raised with organized religion, obviously, but you said there you feel like you hit your knees and
Oh
there's some sort
yeah.
of higher power, like help me, I need to change my
Yes.
ways.
Yeah, I got a higher power who I choose to call God, but you know, it's not like a punishing
Sure,
heaven and hell type
not the wrath
God.
God, it's the loving
Yeah,
God.
no, I'm just
Yeah,
none of that makes sense to me, you know. So I have my God, and I'm very into, you know, I pray every day and every night. You know, I do a lot of meditation. I work with others. You know, I suit up and show up and I talk about my life, my experience, and hopefully, you know, it helps somebody, you know, when I do get in those situations. And yeah, it's been great.
absolutely. Well, thanks for sharing, all that personal stuff, and thanks for suiting up and showing up for us during this interview. I really appreciate it. We went through a good bit of your albums. I guess I'll just list the other. You might hear songs from Rock and Roll, Warpaint, Hellbound, Volume 10, and then of course the newest one, Roar Like Thunder. You'll be playing a good bit
Yeah,
off of
yeah,
that. So.
yeah.
Are there any final seconds? Are there any songs, at least recently or through maybe even through your career, if you can think back, that sort of tie into the spiritual side or the sober side? I mean, I'm sure you've
Oh
referenced
man,
it many times.
there's so many. There's so many. Like Onset on the 15 record is about higher power, you know. You know, I mean, I was obsessed with this book called A Child Called It. It's about, you know, child abuse and stuff. And I wrote a song called A Child Called It. Rescue Me is about a child called it. Which is a spiritual breakthrough, you know.
Yeah.
So many, you know, like
So it's a
I read
through
a
line
book.
through all of your work since then.
I read a book called The Art of War, and that's what Broken Glass is about, you know.
Yeah.
Everything is a very spiritual song too, you know, and Check Your Head, stuff like that.
All right. Well, there you go, folks. The music is inspiring other people, just like you're sponsoring people too. So it's great. It's great. It's nice. I love when there's like thematic through lines that can go through your whole career. Like to me, that's
And
that's
then
like that's
this
what I
is
do.
my little Buddha at home. This is Lion. He's
Oh,
my
lion.
King
What kind of dog is that? Cocker spaniel? What is that?
King Charles Cavalier, and just a lovely,
Oh,
lovely animal.
what's his
Yep,
name?
Lion.
Lion. How long have you had lion?
3 years, over
3 years.
3 years now. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Now I wish my we have a little black lab Liberty who's about to turn 5. Well, she's a mix of a bunch of. She's a rescue, so she's super
That's
much,
so
much.
great. That's so great of you.
Yeah, we
So
love them.
great of you.
Aren't dogs become like human family members? I'm sorry.
Dogs are incredible. I love them
Oh, yeah.
so
Oh my
much.
gosh. My awesome wife just opened the door. Liberty, come here. I'm gonna
Let's go. Let's see Liberty.
go. Oh, Liberty. Come meet your
Oh,
best friend, Liberty.
what a beautiful a girl or boy.
Girl.
Oh, it's a
Oh
good
my God.
girl. Such a
Good
beautiful
girl.
dog.
Lift up your
Good
dog so we can
job.
have them both on camera at the same time. There you
Well,
go.
he's crashed, but
Oh. So I'm
yeah.
gonna keep it on the dog before Liberty's gonna ask one question. All right.
Let's go.
Hey, hi, I'm Liberty.
Such
Why
a
should people
beautiful
come to
girl.
Buckcherry at Tally Ho?
Yeah, definitely come to Yeah, tally ho, because you're gonna get your money's worth. We're gonna have a lot of fun, and that's it. We're gonna host a party, have a good time.
Hey, this was so much fun. Thank you so much for this was great. You've been generous with your time. Again, everybody, buy tickets. You got to come to see Josh Todd, lead singer of Buckcherry, the whole band. Come to Tally Ho Theater, Leesburg, Virginia, October 7th. Don't miss it.
See you at the Rock Show.
Thanks,
Let's get
This
it.
was so much
All
fun.
right, buddy. Be
Later.
good. Bye.
Thanks so much for listening to Beyond the Fame with Jason Fraley. Our theme music is Scott Buckley's Clarion. Remember to give us a 5-star rating if you like what you hear. We'll see you next time.